Dive into summer with Vizcaya swimwear. Stylish, comfortable, unforgettable. Make a splash with Vizcaya swimwear. Discover your beauty with Lady Code Cosmetics. Bold colors, flawless finishes. Unleash your confidence with Lady Code. Hello and welcome back to Misrepresented. I'm your host, Lisa Opie, and before I introduce today's guest, I want to thank our sponsors for the podcast. Thank you to Pink Apple Dresses for dressing us in these lovely red bandage dresses, and thank you to the Code Creatives for production and Beauty by Lady Code for makeup. So today's guest is Sam Sarelli. Samantha Sarelli is the reigning Miss Globe USA 2025 and a proud first-generation Albanian American. A former Miss Connecticut Teen USA, she's used her platform to fight human trafficking through survivor-focused content, education programs, and global advocacy work. She currently serves as president of Kaleido, Inc., a nonprofit supporting a shelter in Mexico City, and has spoken on major stages, including the U.S. Senate and international anti-trafficking summits. She's also hosted panels at St. Patrick's Cathedral alongside voices like Mira Sorvino. Fluent in 3 languages and passionate about empowering women in the Albanian community, Samantha is using her reign to expand her impact on a global scale. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. You know I love you.
I love you so much. I'm like, this is a reunion because we go so far back. Like, where did this start?
Oh my gosh. I think this was 2019, so it's like over 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago, that I competed for Miss Connecticut Teen USA, final time doing it. We had a new director and Lisa was the sponsor, and I had her do my professional glam. Lisa was literally chasing after me right before I would walk on stage, curling my hair because my hair couldn't hold a curl, applying gloss last minute. And you were there when I fell on stage after I got crowned, and I just fell to my knees from excitement and joy. So you've been there since the beginning.
I was like your #1 fan, and oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. And I love that crowning moment video that I have on my phone because as soon as I finished curling your hair backstage, I ran out to the front and I was like, let me just record the crowning. And I'm so glad I got that crowning moment because it was so cute. And you were like, Mom.
Yeah, you have that. It was such a special moment.
So special.
And you've been like a mentor to me over the last 7 years, I guess it's been, but you inspire me so much with all the work that you do, and you're so kind, you're so beautiful, you believe in the people that you like invest in, and so I'm just so grateful to see you continue to flourish and thrive, and to have you like a big sister figure.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I feel like my clients are like my children, and I'm like, you guys are my little babies, and I'm your crazy pageant mom.
Exactly.
I want to talk about you. I think we should start with your reign as Miss Connecticut Teen USA. You were a pandemic queen. So
I was a COVID queen. It was different than anything I ever expected. I mean, I competed for the title 3 times, won on my 3rd and final try. I had seen so many other former Team USA title holders have all these amazing opportunities, so I kind of thought my reign would be similar. And when the world shut down, appearances stopped, I really wanted to make sure that I took advantage of that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I'm so glad I did, because the networking that I put in, the advocacy work that I did with the work that I do to help fight sex trafficking, to this day, I still get invited places because of the networking I've done. So it just goes to show you that when I hear queens be like, oh, I didn't do much with my title because nobody did anything for me. No, honey, you got to put in the work. You have to be willing to get your hands dirty, find those appearances, network yourself. Things in life don't come to you easy, but you know what? Because I know what it's like to work for everything that you get in life and to not have things handed to you, I feel like I've been able to make those networking connections myself and open those doors for myself. Nobody can say, oh, I opened those doors for her. I opened those doors for myself.
I'm so happy you touched on that, because a lot, and this is like a big misconception with pageantry, is like people think that you get the crown and then your life changes overnight and everything is handed to you. So tell me about everything that you've had to work for after and what it's actually like being a queen, because you've experienced that on many different systems.
So I think that people think you become a queen the second that you get the crown and sash placed on you, but I kind of think that's wrong. I think it's more the process beforehand that really is what makes you a queen and defines who you are. It's the sacrifices, it's the resiliency, the losses, Because for a lot of us, you have to lose. I mean, I've lost more than I've won. But I think every single experience has built me into the woman that I am today. It's made me the title holder that I am today because I'm grateful for every opportunity that I do get, a million times more, because I know what it's like to not have that. And I know what it's like to lose. So I think it's just so important to, put in that work, and to not kind of wait for other people to open up those doors and opportunities for you. You kind of have to make that happen for yourself. And that includes, reaching out to people, doing the cold calls, dealing with rejection. Like I said, pageantry, you lose just as much as you win. And you have to be able to handle that with grace, find ways to improve yourself consistently, and keep growing as a person. I think if you show up to a pageant and say, well, there's nothing else I could have done, I think that's false. I look back at my most recent pageant, and I think I performed really amazing, but there's still times that I'll look back and I'm like, no, I still think I can give myself even more if I were to compete again the next time.
Oh my gosh, like what?
Honestly, I think like just having an even stronger walk. I thought my walk was really strong at Miss Globe.
It's
but
so strong.
Thank you. But no, like there's still those little things that you nitpick on yourself, or maybe certain outfits, or like maybe toning myself up a little bit more. But there's always ways you can improve yourself as a competitor and as a person in general. So I think if you walk into something and you're like, no, I did everything right, I feel like you're looking at it the wrong way. There's always ways to improve.
Yeah. And I feel like you also win in the long run just by working on yourself, like
100%.
Sometimes you just become the best version of yourself by doing pageants, and it's not about winning.
Well, that's really what it is. I mean, the reason why I got back into pageants when I started competing again was when I competed for Miss Connecticut USA last year. I had come out of a really dark place in my life. It was just a dark season in my life. I had really lost who I was. And when I looked at myself in the mirror, I couldn't recognize Sam anymore. I felt like I had lost her. And so I competed again and signed up again because I was like, pageants are such a great way to focus on yourself, to better yourself, to open up those doors and opportunities and just improve and do something for yourself. And that's really why I competed for Miss Connecticut USA. I wanted to kind of focus on me again and find myself.
So I want to talk about losing a little bit more, because I think that you really did suffer like some of the hardest ways to lose, being a teen queen and then going back into Miss. And you're ready for that transition, and it's like such a different level, but you feel like you already had it because you've already had that crown before. But to lose not once but multiple times, what is that like, and how can you educate our audience on like how to handle that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to ever sound like cocky or in a bad way, but when I was a teen title holder, people were like, you have to go compete as a Miss. You're way better as a Miss than a teen. You look like a Miss. You speak like a Miss.
I was probably one of those people.
Yeah, they were like, you sound like a Miss. You don't even sound like a teen. Like, Miss is going to be your time. So I was very optimistic going in, especially, having placed top 15 at Miss Teen USA. I felt very, very excited. So going into competing as a Miss, there's a lot of pressure, I think, when you're a former teen.
Yeah, they're all watching.
I think everyone's watching to see, okay, how did she transition? Did she do a good job? I think the first time I competed as a Miss, I was strong, but I wasn't my absolute strongest. And that's why when I came back a couple years later, I made sure that I left no stone unturned and that I really gave it my all. And that was very, very exciting, but there's a lot of pressure too. And then obviously to not win, it's pretty devastating, to know that you've put in so much work, so much effort, and to kind of look at it and be like, but what did I do wrong? Because
you did everything right.
Exactly. But sometimes you look at it and you're like, sometimes they say, I don't know what the saying is. It's like, when you look back, you kind of just realize that it wasn't meant to be, and that, God had different plans for you.
Which he did.
So I remember after I lost Miss Connecticut USA, I felt so lost. And I remember for a month just being like in bed and being like, what happened? Feeling really down on myself, which is a silly way to be, because pageants should never make you feel that depressed, that you feel so lost in life. Then that's something else that I've learned, is that pageants are a stepping stone. They're not the final destination, and your worth is not put in a crown. But what I realized after I'd lost, that opportunity came to be crowned Miss Globe USA. Being crowned Miss Globe USA was a much bigger opportunity than Miss Connecticut USA ever could have been. It's opened up
one of the top 6 pageants in the world.
Absolutely. And representing the United States, it's been the honor of a lifetime. And then also being the first Albanian girl, especially as a first generation, just seeing how much support I get from my community on a day-to-day basis, and also inspire other young women in my community to compete. It's been so special for me. So being Miss Globe USA opened up more doors for me than being Miss Connecticut USA ever would have. And so I look back on that journey and I'm so grateful that I lost, because it led me to exactly where I'm meant to be.
Wow. I just got goosebumps because I'm like, if you won Miss Connecticut USA, like, who knows what would have happened at Miss USA, you know, like it could have stopped there. But instead, like, you had this opportunity to represent your entire country and multiple countries, because you are Albanian, and it was in Albania. So that's so incredible.
And I got to make top 3 in the world, which was truly the honor of a lifetime. I look back on that experience, and being Miss Globe USA has changed my life in so many ways. And that's why I truly say to every young woman who competes, you know, of course you want to win, but things will happen the way God has planned. And if it's yours, it's going to happen. And if not, God has something better. But you can never, ever, ever put your self-worth in a crown or in a title. Because even when you do win, listen, I'm Miss Globe USA, but I have that crown for a year. I think what's the most important thing is the legacy you leave behind. And I think that's the bigger thing. And that's really what I focus on as Miss Globe USA. It's not about the cool, you know, photo shoots or the traveling or the shiny dresses, even though that's awesome and I love it all. I think it's more about the legacy you leave behind, and that's what the impact you make on people. So with the work that I do to help fight sex trafficking, you know, last July I was at the White House in my crown and sash. Yes. Everything. I got to, you know, host a panel on Capitol Hill. I've been able to now be the president of a nonprofit called Kaleido that actually has shelters across the world. We have young women that we've saved from human trafficking. So being able to see that this crown has opened doors for me to actually make a difference and help other people is a huge thing for me, and something I don't take lightly. But it's also, like I said earlier, you cannot, you know, allow this kind of stuff to define you. I think sometimes some girls get lost in it, and you keep competing and competing and competing, trying to chase a title and chase a crown. But that's not where your value is. Your value is in the person you are and the impact you leave on people. That's way bigger than a crown.
I say this a lot, and we talked about this in Glam, but like I've never really won a pageant.
Yeah.
So, but I still like kind of won in life because of pageants. So
Exactly.
I feel like the crown definitely does not define you. I want to go back to your legacy, because as you were talking about that, I know that you also left a legacy behind as Miss Connecticut Teen USA, because the teens are still telling you that they compete because of you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so special, actually. I still get messages from young girls who say that, you know, they've been following me since Miss Connecticut Teen USA, and that I've inspired them with the work that I've been doing. So it's so important to me and so special to me, because those young women are the exact reason why I compete and why I never gave up. And they're the exact reason why I try to do my best to inspire them to know that your voice matters, and use your voice to create change and make the world a better place.
And even as a teen queen, you were fighting human trafficking.
Yes.
So why this platform, and how are you aware of this, like, at such a young age, and were you comfortable talking about it at your age as a teen queen?
I know. I actually remember during that time, a lot of coaches were like, are you sure you want to talk about this as a teen? You know, this is not something people talk about. It's a really tough issue. And the reason why I got involved in this is one of my mom's friends was trafficked when she was 14 years old.
Oh my God.
She got engaged to a man in Italy, and it ended up not being a fiance, but a trafficker. And she never saw her friend again. So realizing that it happens to, I was 18 years old when I was Miss Connecticut Teen USA. So realizing it was happening to girls my age, but also girls younger than me. I mean, the stories I've heard are as young as 6 months old, you know, babies being trafficked, 5-year-old girls, 4-year-olds, 7-year-olds. When you see children are being trafficked and you see not enough people are raising awareness on this, that's when I knew I wanted to use my platform and do something good. And so that's when I started my video series. I started doing all my virtual events. I never made an excuse that, you know, the COVID or pandemic was going to stop me from making a difference, because when you have a platform, I feel like you have to do your best to use it. And I think each and every one of us has a voice. It doesn't matter if you have 5 followers or if you have 1 million followers like you. All of us have a voice, because even if you have 5 followers, that's 5 people that you can make an impact on. That's 5 people whose lives you can change. Those are 5 people whose lives you can touch, and you can do something good to help them.
Wow. And now I feel like you've just expanded, and you're doing so much more as Miss Globe USA.
Thank you.
What are some things that our audience can do to get involved?
I think it's important to be educated on the issue, number one. I think there's a lot of misconceptions on trafficking, that you just have a white van pull up and grab a grab you in and kidnap you, and all of a sudden you're being trafficked. That's such a small percentage of what trafficking really is. Most people who are trafficked by a family member, a partner, like a boyfriend, a fiance, a husband. So it's a lot more complicated than that. So I think being educated on what trafficking is huge. And then also volunteering at local shelters, giving back. If you're not able to volunteer your time, donating money to these shelters, because they're helping rehabilitate survivors.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that only 1% of survivors of trafficking are ever saved? 1%.
Oh my God.
1%. So that just goes to show you that we need to be doing more work to raise awareness on this issue. We need to be voting in politicians who actually care about the people and actually, care about this issue, because I think a lot of people, we live in this bubble where if it's not happening to us, we don't have to care about what's happening to other people. But I think part of being a good person and part of caring about the world is caring about others and not just thinking about yourself. It's going outside of that bubble and helping others.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, you are so full of, like, I don't know, like, I just want to, like, keep asking questions. So I'm just, like, watching it, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, and, like, I'm absorbing everything you're telling me.
Thank you.
But out there at the White House and in the Senate with your sash and crown on, do you feel like you're taken seriously, or do you still feel like you have to fight to have people listen to you?
I know. I think that a lot of people, when you see a pageant girl, especially the crown and sash, they kind of look at you in a superficial way.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually at the Albanian Diaspora Summit a few weeks ago in Albania, and I've met people all across the globe that were there. And I remember just talking to somebody, and they're like, well, we think of beauty pageant girls, you're just a pretty face, but you're not smart. And I was like, absolutely not. What people forget is that you can be a beautiful woman and you can be accomplished and smart and care about other things, what's happening in the world. And that's what I actually really love about pageants, is I think that they celebrate and respect well-rounded women.
Mm-hmm.
Women that can be beautiful and embrace her sexiness on stage with walking in a swimsuit and walking in a beautiful evening gown. But you can also sit down and be taken seriously. So I would say that at first glance, maybe people are a little bit hesitant, but once you open your mouth, you kind of are able to convince people and show people that you're way more than just what you look. I kind of always say beauty gets you into the room, but your brain is what keeps you in there.
I love that. So right now you're a paralegal, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're doing for work?
Yes.
What is that like, and why did you choose that career path?
I've always just been interested in a career in law, so that was always just something I wanted to do. So prior to going to law school, I really wanted to get some law firm experience to make sure that this is something I want to do before I take such a big step. It is something I want to do, but it's definitely not what people see online and on, the TV screens. I think with everything, like, for example, with like Suits and like these other sort of legal. No, it's not. No, I think they glamorize it way more. Like showing up to the courtroom, it's not as glamorous as what people think it is. So
it's not like Legally Blonde.
No, it's not like Legally Blonde, but you can still make a difference and make an impact and help people, which I think is still really special.
Wow. Okay, so back to pageants. I want to hear all about your experience at Miss Globe.
Oh my gosh, Miss Globe was amazing. So this past year it was held in Albania, which is why it was so special for me, because I got to go back to my motherland, where my family is from. So it was an amazing experience. For 3 weeks, I got to meet girls from across the globe that I wouldn't have normally gotten to meet. I got to represent the greatest country on earth, which is the land of opportunity. The United States has given my family so much, and I'm so grateful for that as a first-generation American. So getting to be at Miss Globe, meeting so many amazing women was amazing. One of the things we also got to do at Miss Globe is we did a tour. So we got into a tour buses and we were touring across the country from the north to the south. So I got to visit a bunch of cities. Wow. Yes.
Did you feel right at home? You speak Albanian, right?
I did speak Albanian. I felt right at home. It was very, very special for me because I got to meet so many people, and also they felt so honored to see an Albanian girl representing such a big country like America. So it was so, so special. And I got to perform a talent show song, which was so outside of my comfort zone.
What was the song?
It was actually a traditional Albanian song. I chose it because I wanted to honor my roots, and what better place to honor your roots than in your motherland. And it was really, really special. It was a moment actually that went viral in the Albanian community. So I got a lot of new fans from that and people who felt very touched by it. But it was a song I sang in honor of my roots and in honor of my parents and of the Albanian diaspora, for all of the immigrants who had to leave their country for a better life and never forgot our roots. We never forgot where we came from. So that's really why it was so, so special. But then getting to make top 3 was also an amazing opportunity. Like I said earlier, God really knows what he's doing, and his plan is always best. And listen, I went from being top 5 at Miss Connecticut USA to top 3 in the world. So it just goes to show you that a different set of judges, different results, but God always knows best. And that's really what I want young women to know, is that you can never give up on your dream. You have to keep fighting for it, but also never let it define you. Never let those losses define you. You get right back up. After I didn't win Miss Globe, even though I worked so hard for it, I didn't cry at all. It was a very different reaction from Miss Connecticut USA. Wow. And it's because I had peace in my heart. I knew that I did everything I could possible to compete and to prepare. And I knew that it just was not my destiny.
Wow.
I know. I feel like I've talked a lot. I've yapped a lot, and I feel a lot at you.
I'm absorbing everything you're saying. So now we're getting ready for Miss Globe coming up this summer, USA. Yes. You're going to be giving up your crown. Do you have any advice for the girls coming in this year?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I'm so excited for them. I'm an open book. Please reach out to me because I'd love to be there and support you. But I think it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Go into this as prepared as possible and being the best version of yourself possible. So go into it knowing that, you know, you have a very strong advocacy. Find something that's a genuine issue that you care about, not something that's fake, not something that you're just trying to do to win a crown. Because I think I see a lot of pageant girls just choose an issue because they think that that's the best thing for them to do to win. But I think what's important to do is to choose something from the heart. For me, the advocacy work that I do to help fight human trafficking is work that I'm going to do beyond the crown. Even once I give it up, I'm going to continue that work, just like I continued that work after being Miss Connecticut Teen USA.
You never stopped, even though you never stopped pageants, like you kept going.
Exactly. And that's really what I want to do, is I want to continuously inspire women to use your voice, find something that's really important to you. Do something like that. Make sure you have a strong walk. You know, you have energy on stage. You really connect with the judges. Make sure you connect in that interview room. Be able to be prepared to answer any kind of question, because when you're representing such a big country like this, you need to be able to answer questions in a way and give and articulate your opinion without offending people as well. Because we live in such a diverse country. You have to be able to work with people with different opinions than yours. So I think going into that, being prepared, and also don't be afraid of hard work. I think a lot of girls, again, go into this thinking that you're going to be pampered. You're never going to be pampered in any system or have in any sort of title. You have to be willing to put in the work and to be, you know, the best queen possible. I think that's really what makes the best queen. And especially at the international level, they're not looking for the girl that has the team that's chasing after her, doing everything for her. They want a queen that knows how to put in the work. So are you able to put in the work, or do you need someone to hold your hand?
Exactly. So this is Laura Clark's first year with Miss Globe USA.
Yes.
Do you have any ideas of what to expect from the competition itself? Do you know what she's up to?
I don't know yet, but I know that Laura has an amazing production, like always. I mean, Laura's a great pageant director.
She's the legend.
Exactly, the legend herself. So I know that this year it's going to be something very, very special. It's going to be held in Philadelphia. So I know that she's going to do an amazing job producing it, and that the girls are going to have an amazing experience regardless of what happens.
Definitely. It's a Laura Clark pageant. So
exactly.
Obviously it's going to be amazing.
Exactly.
Sign up if you haven't.
Exactly. But listen, God's plan, ladies. If this is yours, it's yours. And if not, you're going to have something better for you.
And that's like a reality I really want to talk about, is mental health and pageantry and having an identity outside of pageantry, because only one girl wins. Every pageant, you know, so many girls compete. There's only one winner. So I feel like it's a good idea to be prepared and have an identity outside of pageantry.
No, absolutely. I think that's one of the big things that I've especially been focusing on, is building an identity outside of pageants and creating a beautiful life for myself outside of pageants. I think that pageants are a stepping stone, but they're not the final destination. If this is all you have going for yourself, you're going to be chasing a high that's never going to leave you fulfilled. And guess what? Even when you win, once you give up your title, you're going to feel like a shell of yourself. You're not going to know who you are and what's most important to you. So use this as a stepping stone, network, open doors for yourself, work your butt off, you know, enjoy every moment of it, but also know that there's a life that you can build outside of pageants that's just as beautiful and just as meaningful.
And you've done so much. Like, you're the perfect example of that.
Thank you.
But what else can we expect from Sam in the future?
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know about competing. If it's possible that when I give up my title that I will be retiring.
No, you just started.
I know, but I think that it's hard to say, I guess. It's maybe too soon to say. Yeah. So I'm going to be focusing on building a life outside of pageants. So that's going to be really continuing my advocacy work to help fight sex trafficking. I am the president of a nonprofit. I'd like to expand and hopefully open another shelter in another country one day, like in Albania. I'd like to also continue the advocacy work that I do in the Albanian community with continuing to put together events, maybe open up a nonprofit of my own that's also geared towards women and women empowerment.
I'm surprised you haven't already.
I know. I am so busy that that's why it's so hard. And I'm already working with so many other nonprofits that it's hard, but I want to continue that. I want to, God willing, go to law school. And then also one day I want to, start my own family, settle down, be a mom. I think that there's so many big things out there. And also I'd like to also do a little bit of modeling and continue on with that as well.
Miami Swim Week's coming up.
Hopefully.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Hopefully, girl. I got to get myself toned a little bit more.
Oh my gosh. Please.
I know.
So watch this girl on the runway. I totally see you there. Like, we're manifesting that right now.
Thank you, girly. Thank you, girly.
Yeah,
you're the best.
I'll make a couple calls. Get you on a runway.
Hey, if anyone can make it happen, Lisa Opie can make it happen.
Oh my gosh, I will.
You are the queen, so
tell me what you want. We'll make it happen.
There we go. You're the best.
Is there anything else you want to share with us?
Well, no, I feel like we covered so many important topics and so much importance. But like I said earlier, to all the young ladies, your destiny is your destiny. So keep on putting in the work. Don't be afraid of rejection, and know that every rejection is just redirecting you to exactly where you're meant to be. And I know I probably sound like a broken record, but I just really want that to be grilled in so many girls' heads, because I think after you lose, you kind of take it personally as, what did I do wrong? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you didn't do anything wrong. It's just, it was not your destiny, and that God had something better for you.
It's always something better. Trust me.
It's always something better.
Okay, so now we're going to go into the this or that segment of the show, starting with advocacy work or pageant prep.
Advocacy work. That's where that's where it touches your heart. I mean, getting to meet so many people and inspire them, but also know that you're able to give back. That's everything.
It's so fulfilling, right? Like, I feel like when you're giving back is when you're helping yourself the most.
Exactly.
Yeah. On stage or behind the scenes?
On stage. I love it. I love my, like, being in a gown and just seeing all the months of hard work come into fruition. It's special.
I'm definitely behind the scenes. But I love watching my girls on stage. New York City or traveling internationally?
Well, I work in New York City, so I definitely am a big New York City girl.
Panel speaking or one-on-one conversations with survivors?
Ooh, I'd say one-on-one conversations with survivors, getting to hear their stories. But I also think that panels are also special because you're able to kind of reach out to a larger audience.
Mm-hmm. Heels or sneakers?
Heels.
Duh.
Oh, come on.
A structured schedule or go with the flow?
Structured schedule, please. I love a structured schedule. I don't like go with the flow.
Oh my, I know we scheduled you so far in advance for this podcast. Yes. My next girl, she's like, I booked her yesterday.
Exactly. No, I can't do that.
Oh my gosh. Big gala or gala? Do you say gala or gala?
Gala.
Okay, big gala events or intimate community gatherings?
Well, I love the galas because I love dressing up, but sometimes those intimate gatherings are when you get to really connect with people the most. So maybe I'm not good at choosing that
one. Both. Filming content or hosting live discussions?
Hosting live discussions. Oh my gosh. I always joke that I'm the worst influencer because I forget to film content, or I have to refilm it 5 million times because I'm a perfectionist that I'm like, I didn't say this right, or I didn't do this right. So no. It's 100%.
I'm so surprised because between you and I, when you were Miss Connecticut Teen USA, you were the best person as a sponsor. You were always promoting Lady Co. You were always taking your pictures. Like, every makeup lesson, every lash, like anything I sent you, I knew it was getting posted. And like from a
Yes.
sponsor perspective, thank you, because that makes such a big difference.
So I'm actually going to like speak on that because I've heard that from other sponsors as well, who've always said to me that they know that anytime they send something to me, they know it's getting posted.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a requirement for every queen.
Yeah, it should.
That should not be something that impresses you. That's the least I can do if you're able to believe in me so much that you're willing to invest in me and give, you know, either your time, your energy, your money, whatever it is, your brand. To me, that's the least I can do to respect you.
Yeah.
So that to me is something that I do because I also believe in you and I believe in your brand, and I always feel just so honored that you believe in me as a brand ambassador.
We love you so much.
So that's something that every girl should do.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to do a whole different episode about that one day. Beach reset or city recharge?
The beach. That's why I'm in Miami right now. Yeah. I am so overworked up in New York City.
Oh my God.
I needed to come down and relax.
And I'm here making you work. I'm so sorry. We're almost done.
It's okay. We love it here. This isn't even work. This is fun.
Luxury glam or natural glam? I already know the answer to that.
Look at me.
She's Albanian. Okay?
Exactly.
We don't hold back.
We don't do natural glam in Albania.
Late nights or early mornings?
I'm actually an early morning girl. I wake up early.
Do you drink coffee?
No, actually, I've been going on a coffee cleanse.
Ooh, how's that going?
It was rough at first, but it's gotten better. But I did end up breaking it like the other day because obviously I'm on vacation and I needed one.
Of course. A podcast or music while you're getting ready?
Music.
Leading a nonprofit or building a new initiative from scratch?
Those are both, I would say both. Both are impactful.
Ooh, this last one. English or Albanian?
Jem shqiptare. It's Albanian.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on this podcast. Where can we keep up with you on social media?
You can follow me at Sam Sarelli, and then you can also follow the @official Miss Globe USA account to keep up with the rest of my reign, but also follow the next amazing woman who's going to be crowned. But thank you so much, Lisa. You're amazing. It's always an honor to be here, and thank you for believing in me, and I love you, and I'm excited to see you continue to grow and thrive and prosper.
Please. Thank you so much for coming on. I love you so much.
I love you.